Alright y'all, so today we're going to be playing through some Halo 2 cut maps, mostly released by the Dig Site crew. And I believe this is going to be part 4. We're just going to continue along with the maps that we haven't seen yet, and just kind of, personally, for myself to experience them for the first time in a casual way, and just, kind of just play through them and see what they're all about. So, yeah, let's get into some lost and cut Halo 2 maps that were cut from the multiplayer. So the first one of these we have is Mission Beach, which is the description says the next great vacation destination. So pretty funny little description. But let's get into it and see what this map's all about. Alrighty. And it looks like it's a pretty big map. And a lot of vehicle placements here. Got a Wraith here and a Banshee. I can immediately tell that a lot of the textures look very unfinished. Like, the ground looks unfinished. The rock terrain looks... The textures and the prototyping doesn't look done. And this looks like it was just a ripped skybox, I think. From one of the other maps, possibly. You know, it does look a bit fuzzy, so maybe it wasn't finished. The trees also look a bit unfinished, as you can see. Just everything looks a bit unfinished and foggy, but I can immediately tell it's a pretty big map. Got some weapon placements here. As you can see, got some logs. And this whole area here. And what is this? Is that some kind of secret area we were not supposed to get to? Let me see if I can go down here. Oh, okay. Okay, you can immediately die, so some progress, okay. I mean, that was supposed to be like a hidden room or something to get to. Not sure what that's all about. But yeah, immediately it's, it looks like I spawned on the other side of the map. It looks like it's a pretty big map. On this side of the map, there looks like it's a Forerunner installation of some sorts. Same vehicle placements. You got the Banshee to Wraith. The two Ghosts over here. Got some trees, vegetation, rocks, but just everything looks a bit unfinished. As you can see. Pretty interesting. This map looks pretty big, if I have to say so myself. Alright, let's get into this Banshee and kind of get a bigger view of the map. As you can see, it's surrounded by some rock terrain. You got some... As you can see, this... It looks like this was going to be this base, and then the other area was going to be another base, but... Pretty huge. Let's see, can we fly out of this? Okay, we can. And look at this. Very unfinished textures. Very unfinished. I don't think you're... Okay, so there's an invisible barrier, so you can't go too far. Alright. So it looks like the gimmick of this map was supposed to be a giant bridge. And yep, looks like this was supposed to be a bridge. There's also multiple, like, caves you can go into, and walkways you can cross over. So this would have been like a big team map of some sorts. As you can see, this whole little area right here. Pretty huge Forerunner bridge here. Probably was going to have at some point, one of the gimmicks would have been the players would have been able to ignite a light bridge of some sorts, and basically players would have fought over control over the bridge. I think too this would have been a good capture the flag kind of mode as well. Got a carbine right here. Let's check out this bridge a little bit. Obviously looks very unfinished, but still pretty cool nonetheless. So, okay, we can go into this little walkway here. So I guess this was another walkway. Not really too many of the rooms are thought out, as you can see. Just everything was prototyped, but nothing else. As you can see, pretty wide gap. So this would have been a pretty big light bridge. So pretty cool. As you can see, we were just there, but that's the other side of the map. Looks like this would have been the other area for the team that it would have been spawning in. No structure right here, though, unlike the other side, so a bit interesting difference. It looks like the bridge would have been the main thing people would have fought over. So let's go into these caves, which look very funny looking. Okay, got a little bit of light source in here, and yeah, this just looks like it was another way out, I guess. Not much to it. Not much to it. Alright, some vegetation over here as well. Let's go into this cave. So there would have been some caves as well, I guess. Just other ways to move along the map. Not much to them, though. As you can see. However, I do like the design of this map. I do like how big it is. I think it absolutely been cool to fight over a bridge on the map and would have had the players like ignited it. It looks like the other side of the bridge would have been similar. It looks like a bit more geometry was put in. And it looks like the rocket launcher's right here on this little bridge walkway. So that's pretty cool. I don't see one over there, so this is probably the only way across. More cave structures. It looks like this part of the bridge is a bit more developed, as you can see. More geometry. Pretty cool, pretty cool. I kind of like it. Maybe this probably would have been more of the defending side. Maybe that's why there's actually no structure over there. Maybe this would have been the attackers, and then this side would have been just the defenders. And now you can see this. So, okay, that makes a lot of sense now. I'm not sure if you can go underneath this thing, because it seems like there's an area underneath you can go to. See these walkways. Yeah, they look pretty similar to the other ones. No major difference. This weird little thing up there sticking up. Got this little cave over here on this side of the map. Let's see where it leads. Maybe this is another way across. Okay, you can lead both ways. So this is just another way out, I guess. It's another way out. Let's go up to this side of the map and see what it's about. Alright. So I guess I was also mistaken. There is another way across with that pathway. So those pathways obviously would have been much more. So there have been multiple ways across, which is nice. Alright, so that's way. It's kind of another way across to this side of the map. Pretty cool. However, I like the design of this map. I think it's pretty cool. It obviously needs a lot more work as it looks very unfinished. Obviously, a lot of the textures look pretty unfinished, but I do like the concept of this map. I do like the overall design, so I think Bungie was definitely onto something with this one. Probably just needed a bit more work and more love put into it. But for whatever reason, it was cut early on. Bit of a shame, though. I think this map could have absolutely been a blast. So that was Mission Beach. Alright, so let's get into the other map. Alright, so the next map we have is Shaft. Don't dive or don't delve too deep. So let's get in and see what this one's about. Yeah, I do like Mission Beach. It was pretty good, so hopefully this one will be pretty cool as well. Alrighty, so this is Shaft, and it looks I would say in terms of geometry, it looks similar to the last map, I guess, but more finished, so more completed looking textures, I guess you can call it. The weapon placements are all pretty interesting. Looks like the rocket launcher was here, so that's a power weapon. Pretty cool. A lot of explosives on this map, so. But as you can see, it looks, got this little area for ghosts and other vehicles, which is pretty cool. I do like the more sunnier vibe of this map. Obviously, a lot of the textures look incomplete, as you can see. Not made for the final game, but pretty cool. little awkward dead zone here. I'm sure this is where some of the players would have spawned. I mean, definitely big team battle could be supported here. Vehicles, probably like Warthogs or Ghosts, but probably maybe even Banshees, but yeah. I do like the sunlight mechanics. Okay, there's a sniper rifle here. The Forerunner architecture looks a bit interesting. Obviously, not too completed, but still looks pretty cool. A lot of movable objects on the map, which is always very nice to see in a Halo game. It's what makes it stand out from other shooters. I guess this kind of would have been the center of the map that people would have fought over. Not a bad map. I think that with some polishes and some adjustments, it could have absolutely be added into matchmaking. So, pretty cool stuff. I like it. I do like the sunny vibe and how like the Forerunner concrete and architecture, I guess you could say, it looks in the lighting. It looks a bit more complete for sure than the other map though, Mission Beach. But I don't know, I feel like it's a bit generic. I feel like it's just it's a simple Forerunner structure kind of arena map. I mean, not much to it to be honest. Some things about it, like there's like a lot of explosives everywhere and movable objects, which is cool, but I'm not too sure about it. Yeah, this is probably where the sniper would have been. Yeah, not much to it though. I think it's cool. It's definitely interesting. It has a lot of potential, but I do kind of see why Bungie cut this map. It seems pretty just generic, I guess. There's not like too much value to this map. There's not like a cool thing I could say like, oh, makes it stand out. Like Mission Beach had the bridge and stuff, which that was like its standout feature. Here it's kind of like, I don't know. There's not like a standout feature on this map, at least in my opinion. So, but it is complete enough for sure that it could be put into matchmaking. Just probably needs a different layout and a few other tweaks to it. I'm guessing from a narrative-wise, it looks like this was some kind of drill, I guess, because I can see it looks like this all was prototyped, and this seemed like this was the drill in the ground. That's kind of cool. Maybe the drill would have actually moved and was in motion during gameplay. I'm sure it probably was at some point. I would say just change a few things about the map, but overall it's fine. It's kind of decent. It's whatever. So yeah, this was this map. Not bad, but just needs some work to it. So that was Shaft. Alrighty, so let's get into the next map. The next map we have is Permafrost. A frozen waste guarantees the containment of terrible weapons. Pretty cool description, so let's get into it, see what this one's about. And wow, this one looks very unfinished. Wow, okay. So this one obviously was going to be a snowy map of some sort, something in the winter. Shotgun placement here. And got a overshield placement, so a bit more developed, I guess, in terms of items. But looks, wow, how unfinished this is. Wow. You can see the skybox and in all its glory. I don't know if this is one from the campaign or it's been repurposed slightly. Not too sure. Got some explosives right here. So yeah, I got some explosives. Alright. As you can see, this was all meant to be snow, but obviously none of it's been textured or put on the ground or nothing to it. Even the trees are still look like they were just copy and paste from other things. So this is where the rocket launcher is. So it looks like the general layout, like everything was prototyped and everything. And all the weapons and places were put in, but not actually much else. Nah, I'll stick with the shotgun. So it looks like this thing is an energy sword right over here, which is interesting. And you got this little center Forerunner structure over here. And we see what it does. This is some kind of... Oh, shoot. Okay, so it'll lead you up into this little tower over here. And extend bridge. Oh, okay. So maybe this little, like, area right here would have been, like, some kind of, like... They hadn't placed it in yet, but maybe this would have been some kind of, like, river or something. And then, like... It's kind of like Mission Beach, where you're kind of controlling the bridge here. But you can extend it. Can you not extend it, though? You also got a little graphic here that shows it. So it looks like some mechanics are put in. I kind of like it. I kind of like the whole bridge mechanic. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. A lot of explosives on this map. As you can see. Small bridge, but it looks like this probably was going to be a river at some point. There you go. More explosives. Okay, maybe this would have extended as well. So 2 bridges. And this is probably would have been the other side of the map. So this probably would have been... Other players would have spawned over there, and other players would have spawned here. I do like the concept of it. I think it's pretty cool with the bridge and stuff. The whole idea that, of, like, maps that have, like, a center, like, bridge piece or some kind of mechanic that controls, like, movement and other things about a map. I always like maps that have that because it forces players to be strategic and, like, fight for things, It makes it just simple. It makes it a bit more, has the map design more involved in the gameplay, which is always a pro in my opinion, so. But not much else. I mean, it looks cool. I think there's a lot of potential for Permafrost. It looks completely unfinished. I'm not sure what stage of development this was cut, or it looks like it might have been early on, but it looks like a lot of progress was made because it obviously made it to this point. As you can see, got some UNSC med bays over here. I don't even know if I can get to them though, because they're pretty high up. Can you even make it there? Maybe this would have been more of the human side of things. I'm not sure. So, got an energy sword here. Pretty cool like always. Okay, got a little cavern here. Icy cavern, so to speak. There's shotgun placement. Pretty cool. Add some variety to the map. I'm not sure what the point of all these explosives. I guess it just add, physics and variety to the map. But I'm not sure what the narrative purpose would be for them. But it looks like that area would have been fought over, and obviously the bridge area would have been fought over as well. It overall looks pretty nice. I think it's pretty cool. I think honestly they could add just a matchmaking if they finish it up, and I think it will be like Mission Beach has a lot of potential. I kind of like the Forerunner structure over there, and I kind of like it. The weapon placement seemed fair. Yeah, this little area over here too. See if I can go over here just to show y'all. Yeah, more explosives over here. Got some random buoys just hanging up there. So like I said, this was probably going to be some kind of river or something, maybe. Since they're just floating up there. But they just didn't have the time to finish it, so. But that's just my guess. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, just no pathway. I was wondering if there was any way to go up there. Maybe there is, I just don't know. But yeah, this was Permafrost. I do like it quite a bit. I think it's a lot of potential. I think there's a lot of really cool things about this map. Just it's a shame that it got cut. We don't exactly know what it would have been because it got cut. So yeah, so you can't really not extend the bridge, but it looks like you can just extend it, which is still cool nonetheless. Alright, so that was Permafrost. Pretty cool map. I think if it gets finished, it absolutely could be a banger of a map. All right, so we have Rodentia. So let's check this out real quick. You can check in, but never leave. Man, you gotta love these crazy descriptions, man. Some of these people put on these maps. Some of them are just so random, but they always give me a smile sometimes. Alright, Rodentia. Alright, so this is Rodentia. And you know, it looks very familiar. I think this is a remake of a Halo CE map, if I'm not mistaken. It's that one map from Halo CE that I forget the name of it, but yeah, it looks like this is a remake of that one map because it's got those same corridors and it looks like identical from that map. The only difference I see is that in terms of design and how everything looks in the map, it looks very different. Like the walls, the textures, everything looks more advanced and similar to Halo 2's art style. But still has those teleporters, so that's very nice. And still, like, has these little glass structures here. And this little conveyor belt thing. Not sure what that's all about. Got an energy sword placement. I'm not sure if all the energy sword placements, or, excuse me, all the weapon placements are the same from the previous map, but I don't know if these structures were here in the original map either. And these light sources here. That seems a bit different. But in terms of design, it looks very similar to the OG map, so a lot more explosives if I remember correctly though. And you got the teleporter here, so I know that this map was from Halo CE, I just can't remember exactly what it was called. I'm sure that I'll get reminded of it later, or maybe you in the comments are gonna let me know what it is, but it's a classic Halo CE map. Well, this is a bit different. I know in the original map there's only like it's like a flat indoor Forerunner structure, while here it's kind of like the same map, but it's like more expanded. Like you get these cool little glass panels and this conveyor belt stuff. I really like that. That's really cool. So pretty cool. And it looks like, yeah, this is the main Forerunner area. And you got this little conveyor belt system down there. That's really cool. It's exploding all this. You also see a lot more of the outside, which, if I remember correctly, in the original Halo CE map, you never got to see the outside. So this is really different. And, whoa, okay. Now, this is really different. So, I know, like I said, I don't remember the map off the top of my head, but if I remember correctly, this was a cave in the original map. This was a cave. This was not a... In this map, this version of the map, though, you can actually go outside and see everything. Like, you can see the terrain outside, which I really like this change. I think, you know, cosmetically, it's cool. It also looks a bit more expanded than the original version, but... Okay, got the camo version here. Camo power-up hiding there. Bit different with the placement, because I remember in the original map, it was just sort of, like, there, waiting for you. I really like this change, though, with the outside. I think that's really cool. It's really different from the original, because the original was just a cave, but this one's actually a full-on outside. And the power-ups, you can just get them this way, which is really interesting. It's a bit different as well. Yeah, more of this little stuff. It even falls throughout the map, which is... I love the detail. I think the detail... Overall, this map looks very finished. It doesn't like... All the textures look very nice. They look finished. It looks like a faithful update to the original map from Halo CE. I think it looks pretty complete. I think, honestly, they could add this into matchmaking for Halo 2, and it would work perfectly fine. I'm not sure if this looks like this might have been for Halo 2 Vista, but it could have been for the original Halo 2's multiplayer. But it got cut at some point, which is truly a shame. As this map is honestly fantastic, I can already tell. It looks complete. It just kind of boggles the mind why this was never released. Oh, these little air ducts are really cool too. That's like a new feature. I don't think it was in the original. And the lighting's very nice as well. And it also shows like a light source as well, so yeah, I really like this map. Rodentia is really nice, so they can absolutely add this into matchmaking. 2v2s, 4v4s, similar to the original Halo CE map in terms of player numbers, but yeah, I really enjoy this map, so that was Rodentia. Alright, so now we have Solitude. Let's get into this one. Playground of the Gods. Pretty fascinating and interesting description. So far, some of the maps I've seen so far are very nice. Some of them obviously look very unfinished, like this one we're going to see, but check it out regardless. So this is Solitude. I had to double check the name real quick. And I can immediately tell it looks very unfinished, like way more unfinished than... Honestly, it's probably the most unfinished map I think we've seen so far. It's kind of strange though. Some of the textures look kind of complete. Like this room here looks a bit complete with some of the geometry is a bit off, but it looks complete texture-wise somewhat. Got this little center structure here, but this whole like Forerunner area here looks very incomplete. It obviously looks modeled, but nothing inside of it. This map gets very Ascension vibes. Like it has like two structures surrounding some kind of center structure in the middle of a dark map that looks exactly the same as Ascension Skybox. So there you go. Yeah, not much to this. I mean, looks very unfinished. It's kind of strange though, because it's contrasting because this structure here looks kind of completed while this one just looks uncompleted. So it's like you can really tell this was an uncompleted map. So alright, so this was like a Forerunner structure here, I'm guessing. Battle rifle placement. Needle placement. I think it kind of reminds me of like a different design for like Ascension in terms of vibes. Like it looks like Ascension, but there's not really much to it in terms of like what the gimmick of this map is, to be honest. I'm guessing maybe some light bridges would have been here, but I'm just assuming. This is like some kind of center structure. And you got this light source here. Maybe this would have been some kind of elevator or like some kind of energy source. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not really too sure, to be honest. But it's kind of unclear exactly what this was going to be. Yeah, this looks like the same thing on the other side of the map. I'm sure players would have spawned in on both sides. I think there was a blue lighting back there, so this is red. So this would have been where people could have spawned in. But obviously looks very incomplete. And there's like two walkways here, so it's a bit different. So, well, slightly different, I guess, maybe. Yeah, in terms of design, it looks exactly the same as the other side of the map. It kind of just reminds me of like a weaker version of Ascension. I'm not sure what the gimmick of this map would have been. I think there is potential for sure, but it kind of, I don't know, it needs a lot of work done on it. There's no vehicle placements on it or anything, so. As you can see, I have this little area here. Some rock terrain. Some carbines just kind of put there. And this is this structure here. Looks the same as the other structure. I'm assuming too this is going to be kind of... I guess they were just kind of trying out different versions of what the map Ascension would have been, and just they kind of cut out various concepts. And I can see why this one was cut. There's not really too much of a selling point for this one, and it just looks too incomplete. So, and it got some weird weapon placements. Like here, this is like a shotgun placement. It's kind of weird. No vehicle placements or anything. Okay, I'm going to try to jump down and see what's going on down here. Okay, so you can fall to your death, so... Okay, a bit more work. You can't just fall down and die. besides weapon placements, I don't see any power-ups or any kind of vehicles at all on the map, so it's a bit different. Like I said, yeah, looks a bit unfinished for sure. Not much to it though. It's just kind of unclear what they were intending for this map. I mean, it looks like it has potential, but yeah, I'm not too sure what it's all about, to be honest. Some of the weapon placements are kind of weird in my opinion as well. Overall, I can definitely see why Bungie cut this map in general. I think there's just not much potential to it. So, yeah, not much to potential. Yeah, so that was Solitude. Not much to be said about here. I know that, I'm not too much into description or go into detail with this map, but it's kind of, there's not much to it, to be honest. It's kind of uninteresting. I can see why Bungie cut it out, so. Alright. And then we finally have the last map on this playlist, which is Sunken Chamber. So, let's get into this one. The combat is always bloodier under Forerunner seas. Okay. So, see what this one's all about. Sunken Chamber. Alrighty. Alright, so this is Sunken Chamber. Let me see real quick. It does look very familiar. I think this is, if I'm not mistaken, that one section on Delta Halo when you're about to fight those hunters from in the temple, I believe. Yeah, it's still got those doors. But the lighting looks completely different. It looks like this was like Grotto, kind of like a map that Bungie was experimenting with. Like, basically they were thinking about having this part of the campaign turned into a multiplayer map, which I will say this to give it to its credit. It is definitely better than Grotto, because this level is definitely, it has more potential for being a multiplayer map than Grotto was, for sure. Yeah, they obviously closed out the sections here that would have actually led you to see the Prophet of Truth, or not the Prophet of Truth, I believe, is it, I can't remember exactly what prophet it was, but it was the one that Chief killed in the little mini boss fight. But it looks like the same exact map, but like the lighting is completely different. It's got this blue aura over everything. And it's also surrounded by darkness. I think the blue is kind of representing nighttime and also showcasing the... also showcasing maybe too that it's underwater as well, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I remember this mission. You would fight the hunters in this mission in Halo 2, so pretty cool, I guess. You even got the Prophet of Truth, I believe, here, or one of the prophets. Really cool stuff. I like that little detail on the map. So, I think Bungie was definitely experimenting with having different maps and from the campaign multiplayer. I think it's honestly not a bad idea. Like, I think a lot of people trash on the idea. Like, oh, it's like, it seems like you're just being lazy. Like, oh, you're just reusing campaign maps. You're just being lazy. You're not putting effort in. But I honestly think that some of the maps from Halo 2, the campaign-wise, actually do hold up. They could be actual great multiplayer maps. And honestly, I think this one has a lot of potential. I think this absolutely could have been a decent multiplayer map. I just think that some changes need to be made, like maybe reworking the layout a bit, or maybe, like I said, reworking the layout and adjusting the lighting and placement of things, and maybe reworks in the geometry, and honestly, it could work. The energy sword is up there. How the hell are you supposed to get that, though? Let me see real quick how you're supposed to get that. So, pretty interesting with some of the placements. So, let me see real quick. I don't know, too, if this was supposed to be a nod or anything, but in Delta Halo, the mission, so to speak. There's also side note. There's also 2 energy swords on each side of the map, which is kind of cool. But like I was saying, it's also surrounded by darkness, which, if you didn't know, Halo 2 was originally supposed to have a complete stealth system in the game. It was supposed to have like a whole stealth mechanic, but they couldn't make it work because they didn't have the proper time to put it into the game. And, like I said, the engine that they were originally going to use to make Halo 2 just was so, like, they cannot even use it on the Xbox, so they had to completely scrap it. So that included all the lighting and shadows and the dynamic stencil effects. So, and, it's a bit of a shame that we never got to see the Halo 2 health system in it. And I think this map kind of, it's the same map from the campaign, but it's like darkened in shadow and blue aura and much more mysterious. And definitely gives a different vibe than the campaign. Because the campaign, the map's pretty bright and stuff, this part of the level in Delta Halo. And honestly, I don't know, like, this, it just kind of alludes to that whole stealth system that was cut. Like, maybe this, I'm assuming that this, I know that originally the Delta Halo missions and stuff would have had some missions that would have been stealth mechanic related, and maybe this kind of hints at that, so just assuming. Just pure speculation, but yeah. This energy was just sort of hanging up here. I'm not sure if they were supposed to add something right here, or they didn't do it yet, but it's kind of weird. Yeah. I do think this map is pretty good. It could be decent as a multiplayer map. Like, out of all the multiplayer maps I've seen from campaign maps, I think this one has a lot of potential. I would definitely fix some of the glass and stuff. Like, I would actually show that it's underwater. Like, it looks pretty incomplete, I would say. It's just a campaign mission, so obviously it's a lot more complete than other maps. But in terms of, like, the actual changes and things, it looks like they didn't make too many changes. They just added a lot of weapon placements and, changed the lighting and fogged up all the windows. I would have changed a few things cosmetically, like showed the water and stuff, but overall, that was Sunken Chamber. It's just a campaign map, but that Bungie attempted to make a multiplayer map, and I think it absolutely probably could have been that. Just probably needed some reworking and just need some work put into it, to say the least. So, not a bad idea though for a multiplayer map. Probably needed some time and love put into it to make it better. So, yeah. But overall has some potential. So that was Sunken Chamber. And, it seems like that is actually the end of our playlist so far. This is basically, I covered a lot of the cut maps from Halo 2's multiplayer. Just kind of experiencing them for myself and also showing them off to y'all. Hopefully I'll continue with more cut map walkthroughs. I will still continue with this series. Most likely in the next video, I'll probably just be playing the milestone levels, which I'll definitely get into it later. But overall, that was so far a lot of the cut maps from Halo 2's multiplayer that we never got to see. But if there's obviously more cut content, we'll definitely go into it in the future. But overall, hope y'all like this little quick video, just showcasing more maps that were cut from Halo 2. And yeah, hopefully y'all have a good rest of your day, and peace.